Hi, welcome to Beginning Cooks. Today I'm going to be making a very special recipe. This is my grandmother's peanut butter pie. Granny's peanut butter pie. This is something I've had my entire life growing up, and my entire family goes crazy about this pie. I'd also like to do a special shout out to a company called Create My Cookbook. I'll put a link to their website in the description. It's pretty appropriate I'm giving a shout out to them for this video because the whole point of their website is to make a cookbook from your family's recipes. You can put in your own recipes, your own photos, and they'll create an actual physical cookbook for you. So if you want my delicious Granny's peanut butter pie, let's make it. My granny didn't tell me what temperature she uses for this. It might be a broil, or it could be a lot less. I'm gonna say 350 degrees. So the first thing we're gonna need for this is 3 heaping tablespoons of peanut butter. I'm just gonna use a butter knife to pop them out here. Now I'm using honey peanut butter because that's all I had on hand. My family, if they knew I was using honey peanut butter instead, they might murder me. Hopefully it doesn't change the taste of it too much. This might become a honey peanut butter pie, but I still think it will taste delicious. Then you're going to need 2 cups of powdered sugar. There's 1 cup. I'm running a little low on powdered sugar at the moment. But I have my 2 cups, so that's all that matters. It's a little messy with that. There's my 2 cups. And now we need to mix all of this together with a fork until it's nice and crumbly. This is called cutting in. It's how you make a lot of things. Pie crusts and certain cakes and crumbly mixtures. You just use the fork to mix together something wet, or more on the wet side, and something dry. In this case, peanut butter and powdered sugar. Okay, so once you're satisfied with that crumbly mixture, get a prepared pie crust, and then we're going to sprinkle this evenly into the pie crust. Okay, kind of spread it out evenly. Also for this recipe, you'll want to get out 3 eggs and a whole stick of butter and really let those soften. Come to room temperature. Now we are going to separate our egg yolks from our egg whites. And we're going to need to keep both of them, so have 2 bowls ready. I just do it the old-fashioned way. Break an egg and transfer the yolk back and forth. That leaves your white in one container and your yolk in the other. And don't worry so much about keeping all your whites out of your yolks. You're going to have a little bit left over. It's best not to stress out about it. It'll still taste delicious. Back and forth into its own bowl. Oops. Now we're going to want to beat these yolks. So beat them together until they're nice and beaten. Okay, I'd say that's good. Now, in another separate bowl, and I'm going to use the same bowl we used with our peanut butter and powdered sugar just to keep things really easy. You need ½ a cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of flour. So mix those together. And just make sure they're somewhat thoroughly mixed. Alright, those are well mixed. You also need a dash of salt. So just a little bit, not too much. Now put a small sauce pot over medium-high heat, or really high heat even, it's fine. And then pour in a can of evaporated milk. And heat this until it becomes nice and bubbly. Now that the evaporated milk is beginning to bubble, my grandma said to pour some of it into your egg mixture. and mix it quickly. And I'm going to remove this from heat. Mix quick, okay, mix it quick. Mixing it quick. Okay, so now pour the eggs with the sugar and mix those together. You know what? I don't think we used the rest of the evaporated milk. My grandma said to cook this until it's thick, so I'm going to put this back into the pan we just were using. Although I'm going to pour out the rest of the evaporated milk. I'm going to put this in there and cook it until it's thick. So now I have the heat just on medium-high. And I'm pouring my butter, or not my butter, I'm sorry. I'm pouring the evaporated milk and sugar mixture back into the pot I was using earlier, but without all that extra evaporated milk. Now I'm going to cook this on medium-high, or even close to high, until it begins to thicken up. Alright, it is definitely beginning to thicken. It's starting to get a little chunky even, which means I need to stir more, I need to stir constantly. So at this point, add in your stick of softened butter, and we're going to stir that around until it's nice and melted. Alright, you also need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Typical thing to do when you're baking, of course. So make sure that gets mixed in there well. And as soon as the butter's incorporated, I'm going to remove this from heat. Yeah, the butter's pretty much mixed in at this point. So make sure you keep it all nice and mixed. Mine might have thickened a little too much. That's okay. I should have poured it slightly earlier. And then just... yeah, mine's a little too thick. That happens. So the butter melts. This should have been more of a pour into this pie. This should still taste really good, hopefully. So at this point, let's make our meringue. Now we need to make a meringue using our egg whites. So beat them until the peaks form. Nice stiff peaks. You're gonna need a mixer for this, an electric mixer. Start slow and work your way up to fast. Give it a few minutes. Let's see how it's looking. Okay, no, not quite to peaks yet. Well, let's see. Oh, you got a little bit one. You know what, that holds well actually. I'm happy with that level of meringue. Alright, let's get this delicious meringue onto our pie. So just lightly coat your pie with meringue. Alright, so put that all in there. Let's get this peanut butter pie into our oven for 8 to 10 minutes, or until brown. Alright, it's been about 9 minutes for me, and my meringue is starting to look decently brown. I wish my evaporated milk mixture had kind of melted into the sugar more, but it will still taste really good. So get your pie out, let it cool a bit, and then let's slice it up and try a piece. Now the most important part, trying some. Made sure to get some of my peanut butter, some of my topping, a little bit of my crust. Oh yeah, that tastes just like what my granny used to make growing up. So even though I wasn't sure what temperature to set the oven at, I used honey peanut butter instead of regular, and I wasn't sure how much evaporated milk to save, this still tasted just like what my granny used to make. Delicious and awesome. I'm so glad she gave me the recipe. I love you so much, Granny. Your peanut butter pie is delicious. If you want to save all your family's recipes as well, check out Create My Cookbook like I mentioned earlier. If you're a fan of this video, please subscribe. I love having new subscribers. I have almost 200 cooking videos that are simple to follow along with, and you'll make some delicious things. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your peanut butter pie.